We simply don't have the luxury to jump to conclusions. There has been considerable reporting that these two suspects are linked to the Black Hebrew Israelite movement. We have evidence that both suspects expressed interest in this group, but we have not definitively established any formal links to that organization or to any other group. Based on the available evidence, we believe that the two shooters were acting on their own.
Acting on their own. Then that would mean that the perpetrators were not Hebrew Israelites. Then why would the president of the Anti-Defamation League, Jonathan Greenblatt, openly slander the African Israelite community? Is he a liar?
Well, what do I do? So the Anti-Defamation League, let's just step back. It's the oldest anti-hate organization in the United States. It was founded in 1913 after a Jewish man was lynched. He'd been falsely accused of a crime, wrongly convicted, and ultimately the mob tore him from his jail and they hung him from a tree.
Well, that's not true. You see, when the ADL was founded in 1913, the Ashkenazi Jewish man, Leo Frank, wasn't lynched yet. In fact, he wasn't lynched until 2 years later on August 17th, 1915. So why would Jonathan Greenblatt lie about the reason the ADL was founded? This is something that every single black person needs to know. You need to know why the ADL was founded and when. You see, it was founded less than 1 month after the racist Ashkenazi Jew Leo Frank and his racist defense team made the following statement about Negroes.
The thing that arises in this case to fatigue my indignation is that men born of such parents should believe the statement of Conley against the statement of Frank. Who is Conley? Who was Conley as he used to be? And as you have seen, he was a dirty, filthy, black, drunken, lying nigger. Black knows it. Stars knows that.
Deny Breath, Leo Frank's organization. This marked the beginning of the ADL and the beginning of one of the most violent stretches of history for the so-called Negro outside of slavery. And the question everyone should ask is why?
Just to chase a buck, just to chase a buck, just to chase a buck.
Just like Louis B. Mayer made a buck off the racist film Birth of a Nation,
just to chase a buck,
which was credited with the revitalization of the Ku Klux Klan,
just to chase a buck,
who then directly massacred hundreds of Negroes across the country.
Just to chase a buck.
Or just like Al Jolson, who made a buck from donning the racist blackface,
just to chase a buck, just to chase a buck,
perpetuating racist tropes against the Negro community. These bucks, drenched in hate, were then donated to the ADL. As the following reference reads, the primary source of funding for the ADL in Southern California, the equivalent in today's dollars of $500,000 a year, came from movie moguls like Louis B. Mayer and Irving Thalberg of MGM Studios. You see, the ADL gets its bucks from the very same MGM Studios who helped distribute the racist film Birth of a Nation, as well as other racist blackface films.
The implication that black people are somehow the face of anti-Semitism has been a consistent theme throughout the history of the ADL. In 2019, the ADL smeared Ilhan Omar as an anti-Semite for tweeting out that the American Israel Political Affairs Committee donating to politicians might have an impact on their positions on Israel. In 2018, the ADL led a campaign against then CNN commentator Mark Lamont Hill for saying, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free," which the ADL said was a coded message that secretly meant that Hill wanted to destroy the state of Israel. The ADL campaign got Hill fired from CNN. Going back to the 1980s, the ADL blocked anti-racist school curricula prepared by the National Anti-Klan Network because they deemed it too radical. And in 1967, the ADL compared the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee to a black version of the KKK because of its support for Palestine. To this day, the ADL still conditions its support for black liberation movements on whether or not they support Israel. In 2016, the ADL denounced the Black Lives Matter movement after BLM released a policy platform criticizing Israel. Despite releasing multiple statements condemning the murder of George Floyd, the ADL will never tell you that they're one of the largest non-governmental sponsors of police exchanges between the United States and Israel, where repressive policing tactics are exchanged.
Shit. I needed some rims bad, and I knew just how to get them. And I sure in the hell wasn't gonna pay for them. All I had to do was catch some fool slipping and jack his ass.
And on top of that, got moms sprung, screaming off the top. Never figured that it go down by the hands of another nigga. Now my pops is gone and that ain't no good. Got to follow in the footsteps of my niggas from the hood and rest the role model. Who's putting you in my fucking baby bottle? Damn, and through all the stress and the pain, they done drove my moms insane. So I guess I gotta do work, so I ain't finished. I grow up to be a motherfucking menace.
Turn that motherfucking shit down. Nigga, what the fuck you want from me? Nigga, you know what the fuck I want, nigga. I want your motherfucking Dayton's and your motherfucking stereo. And I'll take a double burger with cheese. What? Motherfucker, order my motherfucking food.
Hi, may I take your order, please?
Let me have a double burger, some fries. What the fuck I said with cheese, nigga? Hey, yo, make that double burger with cheese. See, y'all made me shoot your stupid ass over nothing. Hey, come on, man, we supposed to be brothers.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, and double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to the other elders, you brethren, you fellow believers of this truth. Shalom to you, few sisters. Shalom to the elect. So I want to pull it on back. This is by Benayah Israel. And as you can see in this picture, this video right here, look who they got speaking, you know, for this incident when it comes to the Hebrew Israelites. We also know that when Kyrie Irving supposedly woke up to the truth, somehow they helped him donate to Islam, right? So the question is, what are they afraid of? It's this awakening. They understand it's a higher, the scripture says they are wiser than the children of light. Those elite, I'm talking about the top ones, I ain't talking about the low level ones like standing behind. They're all puppets. They know what's up. They know, what's that lady that said at the forum? The Negro is the greatest threat to humanity. And what they mean by humanity is them. They don't consider us human. Let me say, at least I don't think so, just for the sake of the video. Because sometimes these videos don't stay up when we go into things like this. So I'll just keep it formal and just go through the spirit and read some scriptures. So anyway, we see the hatred that's been going on for years, and these people deemed us as Christians, right? Not Jews. But this doesn't make sense because Acts 11:26 said the disciples was called Jews. So it was difference between a so-called Jew and a Christian, which really, there really was no difference, right? But the only difference was the Jews, some of them didn't practice being a Christian. What I mean by Christian is an anointed follower of the Messiah. But technically, Jesus, the one you call Jesus, Yahushua, was a Jew. So how do people manage to separate themselves and don't even agree with the head Jew and then set up the Christian church to support it, right? Does this make any sense? Then they managed to take the original image we had, so they wanted to take it all away from us, man. And that's because the Lord allowed them to do that. In Psalms 83, they taking crafty counsel. They literally, not only did they take away from us being Jews, they gave us a Jew, right, that was an Edomite, who was a freak, right, set up by the popes and had an alternative lifestyle. That's who they gave us to be our Jew. I guess. And then said everybody can be saved. And then nobody fights them on salvation. You notice that? So do these people have a hand in all these Christians and all these extra videos and this funded money against Hebrew Israelites? Because clearly there's black conscious communities, right? There's Africanism, Egyptology, and all these people talk about black civilization, the Black Panther Party, but we're at the top of the list. And this man said that it was us, and come to find out, he was not a Hebrew Israelite, right? But let's say he was. What the hell has that got to do with anything? Are we teaching to do these things? Or when a Christian rolls up and shoot and kill people, do you blame all of Christianity? And this is why they're linking us with Islam, right? These people are very crafty. Jeremiah 8:11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there is no peace. Right? What this going into is really, you don't really understand that you're burning and cooking in a pot. You're being boiled slow like the frog in a pot, if anybody knows how that goes. A frog will not jump out of the pot if you slowly turn up the heat. But if you throw him straight into the heat, he's going to jump out of there, right? So they were boiled to death. This is the concept. Willie Lynch and these think tankers and all these things they did to destroy us. They read the records in Exodus 2 with King Ramses, how we oppressed us and we multiplied. So now they figure, well, we're going to oppress the woman. What I mean by oppress the woman, they're not oppressed, they're over us. But technically, this feminism is really designed to oppress men, but they're using women and favoring women to do it. So these women, they go into these jobs and their careers. They don't have time for children. They don't have a lifestyle. They're chasing them flashy cars that's almost made from nothing, and people don't understand what the hell is going on. So anyway, let's go to Jeremiah 9:8. This brother did an excellent video on with something. It was very informative because some things I didn't know. You know, I knew some of it, but some of it I didn't know. This thing goes way back to the 1913s, and they said one of them was lynched. I would have to see that on record. But, you know, maybe that was all part of the stage too. like everything else. That's all I could say. You say certain things, you flagged, you know. But, you know, it seemed a lot of things was an act just to say, yeah, it's us. But we was getting lynched by numerous amounts on those trees. Not just lynched. We was getting burned. We was getting chopped up. They did whatever they wanted to do to us. And you don't think you got to pay for that. And that's what they're afraid of, right? Jeremiah 9:8. It tastes sweet in the beginning, but it becomes bitter. The tongue is an arrow shot out. It speaks deceit, right? One speaks peaceably to his neighbor with his mouth, but in his heart, he lies in wait. That's what it says. In his heart, he lies in wait. I'm in the King James. That was the New King James Version. Let me see if I can get the He lies in wait. It says, shall not I visit them of these things, saith the Lord? Shall not my soul be avenged on such nation as this? Right? Now we know, this Bible is really for Israelites, but when we look at these scriptures, we can see the deception and the people, the Israelites today, who are siding with these enemies and being guiled into using deceit against the children of Israel. Right? It says, I'm going to just get to the point. And I will make Jerusalem heaps and den of dragons, and I will make the cities of Judah desolate without an inhabitant. You know what I'm saying? So, the Lord is going to punish the wicked. And the wicked and the 2/3 of our people who join unto the wicked must receive judgment. This has been going on too long. All these years we was following white Jesus. There was no ADL hatred on that. The gangster rap, the Glorilla, the Sexy Reds, promoting adultery and sickness and genocide and movies and raps songs. No ADL with that. I thought this place wasn't about race. But this is exactly what they're making it. If it's not about race, then you should be entitled to say, well, then this is all races. We are against this. And us as a people, we will not promote this behavior through your movies and your music without the father in the home, without the mother now in the home. And this is why you have young men grabbing and stabbing and shooting and killing. No control, no order in the home. And we know who promotes this madness, this carnage, right? We know who promotes it. It says here, Proverbs 26:24, there's a whole lot of scriptures on this. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips and layeth up deceit within him. Our people, they're siding with this, right? Although there was tons of massacres. And you know the greatest massacre? And I'll say it. The greatest massacre now, it's not just the rap music, not just the destruction of the family, but that parent plan thing. That's a massacre. Let's go to here. Let's look up massacre. We know it's a slaughter, but every once in a while I want to look up a word that I'm reading. To kill indiscriminately, commonly reference of those who are not in a condition to defend themselves. Yeah, the little infants, right? Here it goes. A massacre, a slaughter, a wholesale slaughter, carnage. Oh, that's the word I just said. Carnage. Let's look up carnage. I believe that means bloody, like a bloody mess. Let's see what that says. Carnage. I know it means basically a massacre. Great destruction by bloody violence. Yeah. Okay. You set up the body bags of all these cities. And then you got some Jake, because they're from one city and it's rough, that think they're on a higher level of intelligence because the city is hard to live in. Well, I got news for you, right? I've been to quite a few cities. And every state got a ghetto. Even in other countries. Look at the other countries. They live harder than people could ever live here. I've met people that came from certain parts of Africa. It was militia police watching their own siblings get blown up with just their shoes there. So we can't be in this America and think because I'm from a particular city that is tough. I'm here in Baltimore, and you do not want to walk down some of these streets. This just shows you the Babylon is that great city. And every from top to bottom has a sickness and plagues in it. So anyway, let's get back to the massacres. throughout the 1900s, as they claimed, the man was lynched. Right? New Orleans, Louisiana. Right? In 1900, after a white police officer was killed during an arrest while mobs targeted black residents, killing several. Mena, Arkansas, following a lynching of a black man accused of assaulting a white girl. Right? They always did that. You know what I'm saying? They're not even, this is how sick Esau is, man. They're not even faithful to their own. You know what I'm saying? They would put the white woman out on the front line is a situation to kill black people. You know what I'm saying? That's very tacky and unprofessional as a nation of character. But what can you expect from Edom? Right? Atlanta, Georgia. I can't read all these. Springfield, Illinois. Slocum, Texas. It was one that I went into. Forsyth County, Georgia. Red Summer, 1919. They call that the Red Summer. We should all know Tulsa, Oklahoma, and the one in Florida. I forgot the one in Florida. Here we go, Lane Massacre. I actually did a response off of this and put it up. And, you know, they took it down, saying there was too much violence. And I got the clips literally off the documentary. Unbelievable. This is how we know something is wrong. OC, Florida, Tulsa, Rosewood, there we go. Rosewood, Columbia. Do you know the massacres is continuing, as I said? Now it's Blood and Crip massacre. We're killing each other. But I don't think that's considered hatred, I guess. It has to be another nation hurting another nation in order to be accepted as the ADL. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. From a nation that says we're trying to clean up racism, and it's not about color or ethnicity, it's about the crime. But we see that they don't care about the crime. They only care about protecting themselves. And I don't understand why these people would need to be protected that has all the influence and the media. But, you know, they know. The Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua. Let's go to 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there be a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. We didn't know. We was getting whipped and beat. The majority of us didn't know we was Israelites. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We was just getting whipped. In fact, at that time, they had so much influence on who was an Israelite and who wasn't, that we was just null and void. It didn't mean anything. Well, now the Lord has sent a great awakening, and they are very scared of that. They can take this one down. Doesn't matter what you do. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua will prevail. Who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God. This is what he's doing. They're saying, well, look, we can slaughter you. We can be behind the lynchings of you and the slavery and everything we want to do. But you better not say nothing to us, because we're your God. And in a sense, they're the power over us. But now that we woken up, we now have our own power. We don't have that white Jesus. Of course, you simp black Christians who are all effeminate. That's your lot. The Lord only cares about an elect anyway. I could give a damn about a black Christian. If you want to put me on that A and D and everything else on that against a black Christian, then put me on there, because they are the worst. They should know better. They should read history. And the history shows you in all these massacres, these was Christians. A lot of them was Christians. A lot of them white men killing, Jake was Christians. The Klans came out the Protestant church. They were Christians. And somehow they're going to link Christianity, right, to what happened in the Bible. That ain't the same Christianity. Because if that was the case, when the Jesuits came and these Christians claimed in Africa they already knew Christianity, why didn't they sit and sup and have a good drinks and say, hey, thanks for being a Christian, my fellow Christian brother? No, they slaughtered and killed them too, and made them divorce their wives. Yes, do the research. Christianity is a big part of the sickness. But ultimately, these people we're talking about, they the ones support that. They the one push that. We are the Jews. The real Jews are the Christians. Right? And then you have some that are not so-called Christian, but they're still Jews because they don't follow the Messiah. This is crazy. Anyway, let me go down here. Let me just try to skim through this. It says, for the mystery of iniquity doth already work, withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time. And he's been revealed. And these people are trying to sweep it back under the rug. This is why we know in Revelation 2:10, and the brother shall deliver you up, and all this going to happen. This is going to be a real problem. You'd be surprised how this truth obviously is mightier than the sword or anything. Because when we wake up and they understand this spiritual connection we have with our power, and we call on him, oh, it's over. It's a wrap. And I remember one of them saying, that did that interview, they had in his interview, they said, we'll be ready for our power. Let me say that, Yahweh, when he returns, which he's going to send his son. The Lord the Lord himself is not coming. He's sending his son. He don't need to. For the mystery of iniquity, iniquity mean lawlessness. They're the one promoting killing, destruction, and sex. Why do they want to promote sex on a high level? It destroys the woman. She can never connect with a man. And if she has a child or pregnant, what is she going to do? So then they say, here's some birth control. Here's this. Be liberated. You can do what you want. You're strong and independent. You don't need a man. And not needing a man is what's destroying this whole nation. Because our nurturing is gone, man. So that's why we need these scriptures. Iniquity doth already work. Only he who now leadeth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. How? Through us. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, when he send the sun. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, that they might not be saved. And this is what Paul was quoting in Romans 11. So anyway, that's all I have on that show.